Tom Hanks, America's beloved dad, the face of wholesome movies and feel-good blockbusters, has just detonated the biggest celebrity backlash of the year, and millions are calling it a line-crossing moment Hollywood will never recover from. The news broke like lightning. Not only did Hanks mock the assassination of Charlie Kirk during a time of national mourning, but he did it so brazenly on NBC and SNL's stage that the fallout now threatens the legacy of Saturday Night Live itself. Here's the jaw-dropper. Before the outrage went viral and NBC started scrambling, Tom Hanks had 4 SNL appearances lined up this season, all designed to keep the anti-conservative, anti-Trump bit rolling for months. Now, every single appearance is gone, replaced by a ratings panic and public relations wildfire, unlike anything Hollywood has seen in years. But is this really the end for Tom Hanks' good guy image? Or will the industry close ranks around him as the next culture war martyr? Stick around. The receipts, the hypocrisy, and the cliffhanger are only getting hotter. Let's rewind the clock to September 10th, a day America should have spent grieving, and found itself instead at the epicenter of a grotesque entertainment. Charlie Kirk, polarizing, political, but undeniably influential. The shock echoed across every candles were lit, hashtags. Yet within hours, the safe spaces and writers' rooms of Hollywood, places where tragedy already how can we laughs the forefront trusted Tom Hanks, the man who made us cry as Forrest Gump, who voiced our childhood as Woody, who's been the good American for decades. Behind the scenes, insiders say Hanks was eager, not hesitant, to use Kirk's death as a launching pad for a bit, roasting his politics, his fans, and, inevitably, the MAGA crowd. According to sources, SNL staff began drafting sketches almost immediately. They rehearsed lines. There were costumes planned, 4 whole episodes, all starring Hanks, ready to roll through the fall and holiday season, each one built around mocking conservatives and making sure Charlie Kirk's name was not remembered, but ridiculed. It would have aired. Yes, really. Until the internet exploded. The first leaks hit social media in a blaze. Tom Hanks' SNL skit will mock Charlie Kirk's murder. Here's what NBC isn't telling you. The backlash was volcanic. Twitter, TikTok, Reddit. The comment tsunami was instant and merciless. People weren't just angry. They were disillusioned, betrayed, many for the first time calling for the cancellation of the man they'd trusted to be their cinematic moral compass. NBC execs started sweating blood. PR teams feared the skit would torpedo SNL's fragile audience for good. And then, in a fit of boardroom terror masked as values, they pulled the plug, canceling all 4 Hanks appearances and rushing to recast the segments. There was no apology, only fear. The house that Lorne Michaels built shook so hard it almost fell down. Hanks, insiders say, flipped out. He'd staked his comeback on these appearances. A string of months-long satirical punches aimed at the heartland, each one keeping his political comedy legend alive across the most-watched, most-clipped show in late night. Hanks' camp blasted NBC for caving to MAGA pressure. He was livid that, in his eyes, cowardice and ratings obsession had trumped his right to lampoon conservatives on the anniversary of what he called the nation's biggest culture war moment. But NBC's motivation was never decency. The board didn't act out of sudden respect for Kirk's family. The pressure was about digital mob power, about advertisers, and surprising numbers of middle America walking away. According to exec whispers, the SNL team is now rewriting all 4 sketches for another star, just swapping out faces and keeping the anti-conservative punchlines exactly intact. SNL's brand of comedy endures, just channeled through a new actor. How's that for hypocrisy? It goes even deeper. Stephen King, America's horror writer, went viral for blaming Kirk's own politics for the tragedy within hours of his death. Other celebrities, comedians, and late-night hosts piled on, treating Kirk as a punchline, not a murder victim. No grace, no pause for mourning, just a mad rush to be the first with an insult, the sharpest on the trending page, the creator of the meme that would dominate Twitter for 24 hours. And if you thought the pattern stopped with Hanks, think again. Hollywood's power players couldn't wait to insert themselves, to turn a literal assassination into a content goldmine, another click cycle, another ratings spike. What chance did Charlie Kirk's family have for a moment of dignity, of private grief, when Tom Hanks, the man trusted by millions, decided to lead the charge and make tragedy entertaining. There's a sickness at the heart of modern Hollywood. The reflex is not to mourn, but to monetize. Not to respect, but to revel in outrage. The moment an enemy of the narrative dies, the engine ignites. Punchlines, parodies, panels, all wrapped in fake decency, all justified as satire. But that mask shattered this time. People saw what was behind the curtain, a brutal, opportunistic, hyper-politicized system fattened on its own self-importance. For Hanks, the backlash is just getting started. For the first time in his career, YouTube and Twitter are alive with breakdowns, think pieces, and even fan parodies dissecting the rise and fall of Hollywood's friendly neighbor. Clips comparing old Hanks interviews, timid, humble, grateful, to the icy, sneering tone of his recent SNL pitches, go viral. Americans who grew up trusting his brand start to question everything. And the public's mood? It's fed up. People are tired of being mocked for holding different beliefs, exhausted by seeing every tragedy turned into televised mockery, weary of the sneers of a Hollywood elite that doesn't see heartland families as human, but as props, targets, or disposable nobodies. Fans once loyal to Hanks are using his own film quotes for memes. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know which one will mock your values on live TV. Where does this end? Maybe NBC bounces from crisis to crisis, swapping actors and recycling the same mean-spirited monologues until the last primetime viewer walks away. With each cycle, the gap between Hollywood and the people grows wider. Or, just maybe, a few bold creators will realize that unity sells, that healing is bankable, that the days of easy divisiveness are numbered. One thing is glaringly obvious. Tom Hanks is no longer who America thought he was. Gone is the neighborly wisdom, the gentle, fatherly presence, the unifying everyman. What's left is a scowling, thin-skinned partisan, no different from the faceless, echo chamber celebrities before him. As the digital mob erases his nice guy legacy in real time, the final lesson lands hard. The audience, the people who once made him a fixture of the American story, are watching, judging, and turning off the TV. So now it's your turn. Has Tom Hanks ended his era as America's dad for good? Is this moment the tipping point when millions finally see through the act? Or will Hollywood circle the wagons, aggressively, defiantly, and with all its power, around a star too valuable or too entrenched to ever really cancel? Sound off in the comments, because this is more than a celebrity riff. It's a crack in the system, a test for an industry addicted to illusion, and a giant, reverberating slap to the face of anyone who ever hoped for just a little decency when tragedy strikes. Tom Hanks's mask is off, and millions finally see what's underneath. Keep watching, keep questioning, and never mistake a Hollywood smile for the real thing again.